What's up, what's up, what's up? It's Sharado on the Ash Sharado Show right here on WLVSradio.com. Here tonight with our controversial commentator, Kevin Lance Murray.
Hey, guys.
Our producer, the Urbanista.
Oh.
Hey. And we're awaiting our co-host for the evening, Grindstone.
Yeah.
But as always, hit us up on social media at Asherado, hashtag us at Asherado, and call us 202-270-0767. We want to hear from you. So we had two very special birthdays in the last couple of weeks,
Yeah,
Kevin.
that's what I
Happy
hear.
birthday to me and Urbanista.
Happy birthday to you guys. How was the party?
Everything was great. I went to Mexico and had a little brunch/swim party on Sunday, so that was
In
cool.
Mexico on Sunday? You were
No,
in
I
Mexico?
came back and I had one on Sunday here. I had a brunch
Oh, yeah, I heard
here.
about that.
Yeah, and a pool party. So that
Come
was
on, don't
cool.
look at me like that because I
Yeah.
didn't go.
She was
Y'all didn't
giving
go
you
to-
that-
Y'all didn't go to my
Yeah.
party either.
The RSVP was definitely in full effect mode, but it's cool.
Okay, do you need $17.50 for my chicken or whatever?
No,
I'm
It's
really
fine.
sorry. I had a
fine.
situation.
Situation.
The night before was a situation where too many illicits.
oh, you were in
Activity.
recovery mode.
Yeah, I was just laying,
Okay.
mostly laying.
Okay.
I was laying, and I apologize for not having the forethought to take it easy the night before, knowing that day was a
That's
special day
fine.
for you.
No
That's
problem.
my bad, and I
Okay.
will make it up for you.
It's
Make it up to you.
habitual for him to miss our birthdays.
Well, you both missed mine, so it's all good. But I'll make it up to you. That's the difference. It's really hot in here. I'm in the hot seat.
You are in the hot seat tonight.
This is such
And
a weird
I
setup.
was celebrating with you guys from all the way from Turks and Caicos.
Turks and Caicos.
Yes, it was amazing. That's my most favorite place on the planet.
That place is nice because white people still go there.
It's only white people go there.
That's what I'm saying. It's expensive. It's very expensive.
Even though it's a black island.
It's very expensive. It's like one of the more expensive islands in the Caribbean.
It is, but it's absolutely stunning.
Can I get a towel? Does somebody have a fan, like
Why
a
are you
church fan or a
overheating, Kevin?
towel?
What's going on tonight?
I'm very stressed out.
Oh.
No, I'm not stressed out. It's just
De-stress,
warm in
de-stress.
here, dog. And I was walking outside fairly briskly.
Otherwise, you'll coincide in tonight's topic, which is staying stuck
Ooh.
in anger, in pain, in career. I mean, whatever. The whole idea of being stuck and how does one get out of that feeling once they're in there?
And how do
And-
you know when you're stuck, too?
Well, I think you know. I think that's a natural feeling. Like, it comes with feeling depressed. It comes with feeling like you're not moving. There's not momentum in your life. Like, there's a general feeling of just non-movement. Like, you're not getting to where you want to be. And I think for the overall feeling, the general feeling of being stuck, most people want to get out of that place, but they just don't have an idea of how to get out of there. I mean, have you ever been in a place where you felt stuck before?
Oh, yeah, like back up against the wall type situation? Oh, you don't mean...
What? Back up against the wall.
Yeah.
Not literally stuck.
Oh, I thought you meant like...
Figuratively, as it relates to maybe your relationship or
Oh,
career.
hell yeah. In all the, like,
Well,
relationships...
give us, share a personal experience where
Um,
you felt stuck.
Without divulging too much and giving names, I'll say that I had a relationship experience where shit was just bland. It was good. It was fine. The relationship was fine, but it was only fine. And I knew that I was going to be accepting a life that I didn't want if I stayed in that relationship because it just wasn't moving. I was stuck in this, and I
But
and I
what
wouldn't
was
break up.
happening?
And I wouldn't break
What
up
was
with her.
happening to make you a life that you didn't want? Explain to the audience
Just
what that means.
okay. So just like in a stale relationship where I'm not really that we're not connecting. We kind of stopped connecting, and we're just kind of going through the motions. It seemed like it was just a convenience thing. After a while, and I was just kind of stuck. Like neither of us wanted to break up. That sort of deal. Is that
Still
what you're
vague.
talking about?
Yeah, still vague. I guess I'm talking about a personal experience where one would feel like, okay, I get it. I'm here in a situation and let's say, I mean, it could be a career, it could be a relationship. You mentioned a relationship, and I've certainly been stuck within relationships before, and I blamed it on the person, or I blamed it on what happened, or I blamed it on a whole bunch of other things, but really I should have been blaming it on myself.
Yeah, you make your own
because
choices.
it was my entire mentality that caused me to be stuck, you know, because I had this perception of what my relationship, what my marriage should look like, and what should be done to me and what shouldn't be done to me, and what I should accept and what I shouldn't accept. And because of those things, I ended up feeling a certain way, like my entire mindset. And I think it was a very naive mindset that, you know, took me to that place, and it was an unevolving place.
Yeah.
You know, like I was stuck there in that very unevolving place. And
Whether you're interested
I guess
in
for
buying or
me, I
selling.
had to figure out how do I get out of that place? You know, like, why am I in here? And, you know, like I kept making excuses. You know, I'm so hurt. I am so broken. I am so this. But it was a choice, you know, right? Like at the end of the day, everything is a choice.
It
We
sounds
make
like
a
your
choice.
answer was just as vague as mine. All right.
And how so?
Because it lacked details in the same way my
have
answer lacked
I
details.
have a very specific
Yes.
example of being
Oh, look!
stuck
It looks like
in
we have a new person
relationship.
on the panel here
At our new set.
on our new set.
Yes.
That orange grindstone.
Hello, everybody.
Swag.
Yes, with the day glow colors.
You know, that's what it is.
I definitely was in a relationship where I was stuck financially because we had entered into a lease that was far too much that I could afford on my own. And it took some time to try to figure out how to finagle out of that legal situation before I could really end the relationship officially. So I think that would be an example of being stuck. And in some ways, I feel like in my current career, I'm stuck with just the type of degrees that I have and the experience I have with trying to explore different options and having to rely on going back into education just because that's what my master's degree is in as well.
Yeah.
Well, Grindstone, do you have a specific situation where you felt like you were stuck in whatever situation, be it pain, anger, career, relationship, mindset, whatever?
Well, when I've had one of the two jobs that I've had, I felt that I felt stuck in my first one. And because I prepared through a college career to be there. And so like the next move that I was gonna make was gonna be drastically different, or I was gonna continue here and go to where that was gonna take me. So in college, I was a biology major to then become a psychiatrist. So I did psychopharmacology at Johns Hopkins. So I was there doing what that meant, and I felt real important. I felt that I was real fly, but I was there long enough to not enjoy it. And I was like, damn, what do I do now? How am I gonna put this down with all this preparation behind it? So I felt stuck, and then luckily I found a bridge, because actually, in this one I learned this lesson. There's always opportunities. It's just if you're open to them. Like if your mind is open enough to see where that comes to find you. Kind of like that video game Frogger, where it's like you got to cross the street, but you got to jump on different little moving parts. So somebody offered me a teaching job, which was just as foreign to me at the time as anything else. I had never taught before, and so I didn't know how that was going to work out, but I knew it was different, and I knew if I jumped on that different situation, it was going to force me to change everything. And so I took that, and then that kind of unstuck me. But then I knew I couldn't be a teacher for too long either, because that wasn't really my thing. So then that forced me to change. But then once I stopped teaching, I was going to do something that I thought was there for me, but then it wasn't there. And then that's when
Well, did it?
Every-
Wait,
So
he wasn't
did it
stuck at any
force
point,
you-
is what he's
yeah,
saying.
did-
You were
did
never
it
stuck.
Force you to change?
well, I mean, I was mentally stuck in my first one until
But really,
somebody
were
came with
you?
But you just
I
let you
was. I
switch.
lived in Baltimore,
Ugh.
and the job offer the opportunity was in Brandywine, Maryland.
Oh.
So for a lot of people, that wouldn't seem like. I mean, so for a lot of people, that wouldn't seem like an option. Like, you can't do that.
Nah, nobody
That's
goes there.
way too far to be commuting in the morning and at the end of the day. That's an extremely long commute.
Yeah, don't go there.
So
Yeah, but that's still different than being stuck. Stuck
Stuck
is a
in traffic.
mentality.
when did somebody
Yeah.
ever? No, well,
It's a mentality. At the end of the day, you weren't really stuck because you were continuing to make moves, and you didn't let whatever people thought at the time, or however you might have felt inside, you continued to
fear.
make moves.
I continue to make moves.
So you
Right.
weren't stuck.
Well,
He always makes
I
moves.
felt stuck, and that's why I made moves. I'm saying, like,
Okay.
that was the motivation to make moves. I felt stuck. I was depressed. I was just like, I was real fucked up in Baltimore. Like, I was just like, damn, this shit
Yeah, like
sucks.
a lot of folks. I think with this topic, right, like being stuck, us up here, like we have the probability when we get stuck of unsticking ourselves because we're soldiers. We're so real. But for most people, being stuck is a huge kind of a life suffocating concept. And
Right.
Our ability to leverage our shit and move to different things is not the norm. You know what I'm saying? So we need to take that into consideration when we're talking about this.
Yeah, because, okay, at that job, at that research thing I was doing at Johns Hopkins, I was actually happy about it. Like, I lived on the 28th floor of this building that was downtown. I was 21, and I was feeling good about the shit. I could buy like some Nikes every now and then.
Some
get a
Rockaware.
I could make a plan. Like, I could buy a concert ticket ahead of time. I had a check coming, and I felt grown about that shit. But then the people who I worked next to, my main person who worked next to me, she'd been there for 17 years. Somebody else had been there for 5 years. Somebody else had been there for 12 years. And so I was kind of like, okay, so when does the shit change? They were like, it doesn't.
Like, this is it. Right?
Yeah,
It's that tenure life.
So they were stuck.
Well,
You
they were
weren't
they were
stuck.
as mentally stuck as I was at that time. And then but see, fortunately for me, I knew a lot of successful hustlers.
Yeah.
So being stuck is something that a lot of my friends didn't at that time. They didn't subscribe to the mentality.
It's a foreign concept to the hustler.
Yeah, like
being
I
stuck.
might call one of my boys at 1 p.m. What you doing? I'm getting a haircut, about to go play some basketball, doing what niggas should do. So I was like, okay, damn, I'm at work. Like, what?
I'm stuck at
How do you
work.
do that? So then, but the independent mentality of theirs is something that helped me see that there was another way. Even if that's not what I was going to do, I still knew that there was
Possibility.
another way was possible.
Right. Well, what about being stuck in anger? Like, have any of you ever been stuck in that feeling of, I'm angry
With
and
the
I
world.
don't know how to get out of this? Like,
yeah.
I'm just mad as hell, and I'm just going to sit here and
And
wallow
stew.
in my
And
madness.
stew about it.
I think that shit used to be in style.
Yeah, I was angry. 04 to 08, I was angry.
Yeah,
Straight up.
and I was feeling like real justified in that. And the thing that got me out of that, I used to get physical with people, and so like,
Fighting, he's talking
yeah,
about.
yeah. But
Rhinestone?
I thought that, yeah, but I thought that was one of my strengths, and so I remember one time I pulled up on this dude, and I think he was sitting down, and I choked him. He was sitting down.
Rhinestone.
He was sitting down. I was
My
standing
type
up.
of story.
I just choked him.
and it really wasn't cool when I saw.
Did you know him then?
Like,
No,
when-
absolutely not.
No, like when
Did
I
I know you then?
Nah, but it was when I saw the effect that it had on him.
Because he couldn't breathe.
Well, no, just emotionally,
Eyes
like
were
he was.
bulging out.
Because he couldn't believe that you were choking
Came
him.
an inch to death.
He's
Like,
probably looking at you like, what? Oh, what are you?
But not like
Surprise, shock, and all.
it was
Did he cry?
No, he didn't cry, but it kind of like broke him a little bit, and it was just part of it. I was just like, okay, I got to cut this shit out. Like, this isn't cool. But I would go around feeling victorious, getting in scuffles and shit,
Oh, yeah,
and I would be
scuffles.
feeling like, hell yeah, I was kind of wearing that, like, hell yeah, fuck
You
that, who
that
want to fuck with
dude.
me? I had nothing to lose. Like, I was feeling like that, but when I just saw how the effect it had on people, I just got tired of having that effect on people.
And being like having that reputation.
It wasn't even like a reputation had developed, because I think it was all like one-on-one unplanned beefs, but it was just something where I would prefer a different effect. And then that kind of got me out of using anger as a crutch, because I was mad. They
Do
were
you think that anger is affiliated with testosterone to some degree?
absolutely not.
No, because I have an example
No.
of anger, but I used it a different way. I didn't use it violently. I mean, I did used to scrap a while ago, but what I'm referring to is like I would be angry and I would take it out on whoever I'm in a relationship with, right? And like I would project all my anger on her and like almost purposely sabotage the relationship just so I could say, see, I told you this wouldn't work out. You know what I'm saying? And that's how I use my anger.
So self-sabotage.
Self-sabotage, yeah.
You know, anger, and Marvin Gaye, I brought this album up before. Here, my dear. Great album. Listen to that album. But he has a song on there called Anger. And the song is really dope, but it's about how his anger controlled him. But he got this line, anger makes you old. Right? And
See that?
it was just, I don't know, for some reason I started paying attention to the effect that the anger had on me. Like I was burning my own house down with that fire. So.
And I think everyone has their own thing, right? Like it could be anger for one person. It could be sadness for the next person. Because I think we all know that person that's always, they're just so sad all the time. Like everything is torturing them. Everything has affected them. Like, and they just don't know how to get out of it. Like there's no way out. And it's very hard to relate to in, you know, with my personality type anyways. It's because like I do feel the underlying theme for me in being stuck is I feel like it's a choice. It's a choice.
Sometimes
to
it's a
be
chemical
stuck.
imbalance.
But it's a choice every day, though, because sadness compounds more sadness. Like as you spend days and weeks upset or angry, it actually intensifies that emotion. And same thing works for happiness. You know what I
They
mean?
need to get out of that attitude with their funky ass. And we're going to get out of here with
Yeah.
our funky ass right after this break on the Ash Sherrod Show.
Get at me.
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate professional makes all the difference by helping you navigate the many decisions that arise when buying, selling, or leasing a property. At RE/MAX Sky Real Estate, our agents have the experience, expertise, and drive to help you find that perfect property. RE/MAX Sky is here for you if you're purchasing your first home, searching for a luxury home, or looking for commercial space. As the first luxury RE/MAX collection office in the district, we offer specialized services to clientele focused on purchasing luxury real estate. We're dedicated to delivering outstanding service and results you can count on. Contact RE/MAX Sky today to get started, or visit us online at www.remax-skyre.com to learn more about how an experienced real estate professional can assist you. Serving Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. RE/MAX Sky. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
Go to grindstoneuniversal.com. Right now. Knock it off. Go to grindstoneuniversal.com. I see you right there. I see you, Playboy. Yeah. He knew where to go. grindstoneuniversal.com.
Said I had a mother who could sing. Said I had a mother who could sing.
Blessings and greetings. I am Iyanla Van Zant, an expert for AOL. And in the world, I am a minister, a teacher, an empowerment specialist, and a spiritual technician. We've all had that experience where it just seems that we're not moving, we're holding on, or where no matter what we do, it doesn't seem to be advancing us. This is what we call the experience of being stuck, of not being able to move or manifest or express or experience that which we desire to do. Being stuck is both a mental experience, an emotional experience, and sometimes a physical experience. And there are 3 reasons that we get stuck. Number 1, we really don't know who we are. When you don't know who you are, you don't know what you are capable of. And you get stuck in your limited perceptions of yourself and reality. Number 2, when you don't want to find out who you are and you won't take the risk to push yourself beyond what you know. And when you are stuck on your story, stuck on your sadness, just stuck on being stuck, you don't want to know who you are, so you won't push yourself. You'll stay where it's comfortable. You'll stay where it's familiar. Boy, will you be stuck. And the other reason that we get stuck is because we live down to other people's expectations of us. How many times have we been told as children, you can't do that, don't do that, you can't do that, you won't do that, they won't let me. And we believe that and we stay stuck. So here is how we get unstuck. The first thing you have to do is to tell the truth. Tell the truth about who you think you are, what you want, what you're willing to do, what you're not willing to do. Those are the truths that you have to tell yourself. And as you tell yourself those things, you're going to start to identify your excuses and your reasons and your rationale and your story, which will take you to number 2. Release all stories, let go of all excuses, and be willing to fall flat on your face and look stupid with your dress over your head. That's how you're going to get unstuck. You've got to be willing to do the thing that scares you, willing to do the thing you believe you can't do. You do it by taking calculated risk. You do it by bursting out of the box. You do it by challenging the things that you believe about yourself and the things you've been told about yourself. If you want to get unstuck, you must be, number 3, willing to be vulnerable. Because until you're vulnerable, you'll never know what you can do and can't do. You'll never know what it feels like or looks like to stand on the victory that you created for yourself within yourself. So if you want to get unstuck, you gotta be willing to be vulnerable. Another way to get unstuck, which is something that we frequently have trouble with, is ask for help. Because see, if you ask for help, then you have to admit to people, I'm stuck. I don't know what to do. I can't do it. That doesn't mean that you have to take every little tidbit of advice that comes to you from every expert around the world, including your mother and your grandmother. But it does mean you can ask for help, take it in, and you'll know what's right for you. And finally, forgive. Forgive yourself for believing this is as good as it gets. Forgive yourself for believing the things people told you about you that weren't true. Forgive everybody for everything. Put you at the top of the list.
We're back on the Asherado Show.
Yeah.
We got
on
broads in Atlanta.
WLBSradio.com talking about staying stuck. What are you stuck in? Anger, pain, relationship,
Elise.
sorrow. What is it? We're here to fix it tonight. Call us 202-270-0767.
Let us know how you feel about our new set.
Yeah, we got a new set here. It's
Yeah,
pretty
it's interesting.
sexy.
We don't have our backdrop tonight. We got next week. We'll have
time.
our
Poll
Asherado
gets put in.
backdrop drop.
Didn't we
track.
take pictures for a new backdrop?
Yes.
Didn't we take
Backdrop.
pictures for like a new?
We did.
We did.
We got to holler at dude about that. It's been a minute.
Backtrack
He was
to
rushing
the-
us. Do you
the
remember?
website. Yeah. I think I was dressed nice that day.
Yeah, that day,
Not every day.
not any other
Yes, you
day.
are.
Thank you.
So
And your
we
time
were
matches.
going over personal examples of being stuck, and some of us vaguer than others.
Yours is vague as shit.
I was trying to get deep.
Kevin, tell us how you really feel.
So you were stuck in a relationship or in a job? What was your stuck
No, I
moment?
think I was stuck in mindset and unforgiveness. You know, it was like I was saying it out loud, like I forgive you within the relationship, but I didn't really mean it, because you know how you can say I forgive you, but you really
But you don't forget.
don't forgive the person,
Yeah.
because forgiveness really comes with your actions and your response and all of that. So I said it, but you know, I felt the need to condemn that person.
Oh,
I felt the
damn.
need to make them feel bad because I was feeling bad.
Right.
Publicly shame them?
And-
Did you shame them
No,
publicly?
not publicly, but just, you know, in those moments, you know, when you're married and together and all of that. But because I was feeling bad, because my expectations were broken from my feelings of disrespect or whatever, I felt the need to make them feel bad with me.
You wanted to bring
You
them
know?
down to how you felt,
Boy, that's
Yeah.
which actually makes you feel better. And then
But it didn't actually.
that's
I
like
thought
the-
it was going to make me feel better, but it actually didn't make
it just
me feel
makes
better.
everyone feel worse.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
Everybody feels like shit, basically. And I thought that was going to make the whole situation better, but
No.
it didn't. And so, you know, I was like, oh, I forgive you. But then I'm cold and, you know, oh, I forgive you. But, you know, I'm not making any strides forward because I'm sitting there sulking
Yeah.
in my unforgiveness.
Well, that's the thing about forgiveness. It's actually, like, I think in your younger years, you always are taught to, you know, basically forgive people because that's the right thing to do, or that will make someone else feel better. It's more about what the benefit is to somebody else. But when you mature, you actually can see that forgiveness is actually more for the person who has been hurt than for the person who actually did any type of thing that's egregious. And it's one of the best things you can do for the other person to really understand full circle how what they did was hurtful. I mean, if I did something really terrible to Cher and then I'm expecting her to hate me forever, and she's like, oh, you know what? I actually forgive you for what you
Yeah.
did. Then you feel
That's
like,
scary.
oh my God, I feel even worse now because this person
Yeah.
actually cares about me enough to forgive me for what I've done, even though despite my poor choices or whatever the case may be.
Well, I got a situation currently going on right now where somebody really made a fucked up choice that affected me.
Yeah.
Right. But
a friend or
Business
friend.
Okay.
yeah, and so I forgive her. I understand that's a function of her personality to do that, and sometimes that same function has led to success and happiness. It's just kind of a wild card kind of player type person. Like, you know, her off the hookness can be good, but this particular time it was bad.
everybody likes
gotta
vague
Yeah,
ass stories.
I'm the only one actually
Well,
here
no,
like
well,
talking
no.
about
You gotta take the
specific
good with
things
the
tonight.
bad.
I
Well,
see.
no, wait, but this is what it is. All right, she introduced me to somebody who was a fucked up person who I shouldn't have been around, and while I was around that person did something fucked up.
This is
Right.
still vague as shit.
Well, it has to be vague to protect the innocent.
Yeah, of course.
And to protect
And
the
the
guilty.
guilty.
So much for real
But,
stories, real issues.
But no, but it's real as
lives.
hell. And so
Basically.
and so the whole thing about it, she introduced me to that person, totally vouching for that person. So then when everything went all bad, she didn't know the person. Like, came to like, I don't even really know him. I just really wanted y'all to be in the same situation because I thought it might be beneficial.
So it was an improper vouch.
totally.
You shouldn't have
and it went
vouched.
all bad.
All the way left.
And I understand that's who she is. I understand that at the pit of who she is, she's not a bad.
She had good intentions, but it was
Yeah,
just
but
not
she
transparent
wanted
enough.
to bring something together.
Yeah,
and
right. But she
wanted
was
to be
dishonest
proud of
about
that.
it, right? So
Yeah.
I forgive her, but I can't fuck with her.
But let me tell you something about
Ever.
forgiveness, Grindstone.
No, but I just can't fuck with her. It's kind of like if the dog bit me, all right, the dog bites, but I don't
And
bring
then
me
you
around your
learn.
fucking
Then you
dog.
learn. Like, I'm not trying
Yeah.
to be around that dog.
Yeah.
Like, let me have a cat. But one thing about forgiveness
Why is the
that,
mic so close to your mouth right
Because
now?
I like it. One thing about because it tastes good. I
That's
like
what
the
she
taste
said.
of metal. I like the taste of metal. Anyway, so one thing about forgiveness is that it's an active thing, right? Like, if you forgive someone, as you're saying, sometimes you'd be like, all right, well, I can't fuck with them anymore. But
Right.
sometimes when you forgive someone that you're close to in a relationship with, you have to actively keep forgiving them for the same one thing often because you're thinking about it, you're remembering it. You might even be focused on it. So a lot of times, a lot of times
Reverb.
we forget that forgiveness is often especially in a relationship, a daily activity. Even if you're forgiving for
Oh,
just
that's
one
deep.
thing.
I think you need to say that again.
Yo, forgiveness is active, not passive. You need to participate in forgiveness daily with the ones you
I
love.
never really thought about it like that, to be honest with you.
Yo,
but that's
gems,
very true.
Bars.
But if somebody if somebody requires of you to always be forgiven, you might be like, man, this person is a habitual line stepper, and I can't fuck with
That's
him.
not what I mean, dog. I mean, like one
Yeah.
event happens. Say you get cheated on or whatever, right? And you just say, I didn't forgive that person.
Right.
That forgiveness doesn't end at the
that
moment that you
conversation.
say, oh, I forgive you. It's a
Daily
continuous thing.
struggle, yeah.
Why is it continuous?
Because you think about
Because
it.
you think about it.
Things
And you're
happen.
human.
Oh, so you weren't really over
There
it
are
before you said I
reminders.
forgive you, but you didn't really.
Well, you have to.
wasn't really there yet.
What I'm saying is that
Well,
you have to
forgiving
decide.
somebody doesn't mean you're over it.
You make a decision to forgive.
I don't say
and
I
that's a
forgive you until I'm
process.
over it.
Well, forgiving.
Otherwise, I'm lying.
When you say I'm going to forgive you, it means
don't
that you're
think
just
they're
going to start the
simultaneous.
process of healing.
You're making a
right?
choice.
You're making a choice to start the healing process, to getting back to where you once were before the trust was broken.
Yeah, I don't
Because
do
if
that.
you don't make the decision, so if you don't make a decision to forgive someone, then what do you do within yourself to start that process? Because how can you start that process without, even if you don't say it to them, like as it just seems to me, and everybody's different, at some point you have to say, you know what, this person did this thing, and either A, I can't mess with them no more, or B, you know, overall the positives outweigh the negatives, and I'm gonna forgive them. But even after you make that decision, you still look at it and be like, this mother.
Yeah, every
Yeah.
once in a while you give them that look.
But see, if somebody's at me talking about they forgave me, but then they come up with the little digs.
No, they're not
But the
saying
digs,
anything
the
necessarily.
digs-
That's what they might be thinking. But
I'm
then if they're forgiving you, they're trying not to say those things.
Yeah, that's part of the work. Is not
part of the
digging.
process.
Like,
Yeah.
if you want to forgive someone and actually move on and actually progress in the relationship, you have to be willing to relinquish your right to dig. You have to be willing.
But so
to,
you're gonna say you forgave somebody before you have reached that point?
I'm not saying that, homie. I'm
And I'm
talking
saying,
about
would you say
breaking down
that?
the process. Nah, not me.
Okay. Would you say that? I forgive you, but you didn't really get there yet.
Well, I said that I just told you a specific situation where I did that, right? Like where I said I forgave, but my heart wasn't open, my mind wasn't open. But yes, verbally I forgave them, conceptually I forgave them, but heart, mind wise, no, I did not forgive them. I knew forgiving was the right thing to do, but I didn't know how to actively do it. I didn't know how to show it in my actions. I didn't know how to feel it in my heart. So I was unsuccessful at forgiving.
So what about if you said, I don't forgive you yet, but like, let's go eat?
That's
a
real.
step. Well,
I think
that's
I
a
think
step
I
towards.
think
That's
what you would
real.
say, and for me, if it's something that maybe, and it's not even always conscious. I can't say I do this 100% of the time, but what I try to do is if someone apologizes to me, you know, I can accept your apology, but that doesn't mean I'm at the point of forgiveness fully. But the fact that I've decided to accept your apology is that I'm gonna, and for me, begin to work through if I have any more feelings behind it, like to letting those things go and moving on, because nobody wants to, just as much as nobody wants to be hurt, nobody wants to be hurt by someone telling them they forgave him. And every time you have this conversation, the same old thing comes up. Like
Right.
that gets old real quick.
Eloquent.
Well, yesterday I was, like catching up on different DVR stuff that I've taped, and
Please tell me it's not about Game of Thrones.
No.
I'm just saying. I thought I was the only person that don't watch that.
No,
No, I
I don't watch it
either.
either.
All right, praise
well,
Jesus.
we're the only 4 people in the world who don't
Holla.
watch Game of
I
Thrones.
watched the first season. It was pretty dope. The second season, I kind of fell off, and it's just too much to try to catch up on at this point.
I'm sure it's dope.
It was actually, and I can't remember the gentleman's name, and I'm sorry for not giving him accolades right now, but it was on Super Soulful Sundays, and he was like a mindful expert of sorts. So he started this whole entire study on mindfulness, and he said a quote yesterday that really hit home to me, because I never thought of mindfulness being a form of meditation, but I don't know if I ever even really grasped the whole art of mindfulness either. And
It's the definition of
he
meditation.
related it to anxiety, because I never thought of anxiety of that way before either. And he said anxiety is worrying about yesterday and tomorrow, and being mindful is appreciating the now and all the beautiful things that are right now in front of you that you're appreciating in that very moment. And I was like, he's right, because I do worry about yesterday and tomorrow, because I'm like, what could I do better? What do I have to do? I got to pay these bills. I got to do this. And he's like, and we go through life with like this anxiety this, understanding of this is the way it's supposed to be so we can be better, but not appreciating all the little things in that very moment. Like, oh, I'm sitting across from my best friend right now. We're having lunch together. She looks beautiful. We're eating great food. And
So you don't do that?
I think I do that, but in moments of anxiety, I don't do that.
That's so true, but that also to me relates to what we just said with forgiveness as well, because a lot of times people are hesitant to forgive because they're worried about what's going to happen next. Like,
yes,
if
exactly.
I forgive this person,
exactly.
Are they going to do this again? What's going to happen in the future? Rather than being in the moment and that person asking for your forgiveness or showing you that they, truly are sorry, and not holding what may or may not happen in the future against them in that moment.
Well, because they're stuck, just like tonight's show topic, they're stuck in fear. So that fear is anxiety, and that fear is, well, what they did to me yesterday and what they could do to me tomorrow. So let me focus on those negative emotions versus maybe the positive things, the positive energy that's in front of me right now is not in focus, and so there's a dwelling on the negativity, and therefore there will be negativity.
Right.
Boy, that's a lot of thinking.
Also, I think
That's a lot of thinking.
The world that we live in now is such that it almost prevents mindfulness and encourages anxiety. Like, if you think about the focus on the past and the future versus the now, like we walk around with camera phones, we take pictures of everything. So we got the past, we analyze it, we look at our pictures, we look at everyone's stuff from before. And then as far as the future, we're worried about when's the next party or when's the next event, what's the next new restaurant, what's the next new thing that we can consume. And our culture and the technology is such that it's difficult to be in that space where you're mindful, thinking about the now. Anything, the next new,
whatever.
Yeah.
That's where sports helps, though.
In a way, yeah.
Well, like, okay, because
you have to. It's happening right then.
So my son plays baseball, right? And
That's smart.
At this point, they play the game at some of the pitchers are pitching in the 80s, and so everything is happening
What
real
do you mean
quick.
by the 80s?
Like 80 miles per hour.
Okay.
Throwing the ball. It's
Yeah,
fast.
so, it's going down.
I don't follow baseball.
So what I tell him, I'm like, this game is only between you and the ball. So when the ball leaves the pitcher's hand, the pitcher has nothing to do with it after that. It's
Ooh.
between you and the ball.
Smart.
And if the batter hits the ball and it comes to you to catch it, it's only between you and the ball. It has nothing to do with the batter at that point. So just be in the moment of what's happening just right then. And so don't worry about the last batter who might have struck out and faced this pitcher, or don't worry about the last time this hitter who's at the plate hit a home run. Just be in the moment and accept it. And then so I tell him to be mindful in all things. So he said, today he had to rest because they had a hard practice. So I was like, okay, when you're resting, enjoy your rest. Rest. No iPad, no phone, just rest. You can pick up and read a
Which
book.
is hard to do.
Yeah, that book might take you somewhere, but just rest. Just do that. And then when you eat, I told him all things. I was like, when you go eat something, sit back in your chair, chew the food.
Taste it.
You're eating. Do that. And so it's always good to be in a place where you are aware of what's going on, because it's pretty dope. And then so one thing, here's just a little exercise you could do. When you are anywhere, occasionally check yourself and ask how many people just walked in the last 5 minutes, or how many people walked out, or what color was the last person's pants who just walked out, or the last person's shirt who just walked in. And then when you can do that, when you're able to really do that, that means that you're noticing what's happening right now.
Also, doesn't that mean that you're focusing on the past a little bit because they just walked
They
past?
left.
Yeah, but it's
Left.
strengthening your ability.
I'm
all right.
messing with you. I get the idea there.
It's strengthening your ability to be in the moment and, just peep what's going on right now.
Shout out to Grindstone for this super tight sports analogy right there. That was
There we go.
that was quite elaborate. Did
Reeling.
you guys get it?
Yeah, we got it.
I mean, not because you're women, because
You knew
you
that
don't
was
mess with
coming.
baseball. No, because you don't. Watch
Well, I
baseball.
played softball, so.
Got
It's
it.
different.
I don't even
It's
know why
for
they created
girls.
softball. What kind of sport is that?
It's baseball junior.
And I'm a softer human being.
It's
Thank
a-
you.
it's estrogen
well,
sport.
hey, all you soft ones out there, all them soft legs and hard backs,
Yeah.
come back because we're going to a break right now on the Ash Sherrado Show.
Get at us, G's. Sure.
Mike, play that.
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate professional makes all the difference by helping you navigate the many decisions that arise when buying, selling, or leasing a property. At RE/MAX Sky Real Estate, our agents have the experience, expertise, and drive to help you find that perfect property. RE/MAX Sky is here for you if you're purchasing your first home, searching for a luxury home, or looking for commercial space. As the first luxury RE/MAX collection office in the district, we offer specialized services to clientele focused on purchasing luxury real estate. We're dedicated to delivering outstanding service and results you can count on. Contact RE/MAX Sky today to get started, or visit us online at www.remax-skyre.com to learn more about how an experienced real estate professional can assist you. Serving Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. RE/MAX Sky. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
What is your instinct?
To pray.
In this position, your arms are useless.
Yeah.
Can you kick or stomp me?
No.
Then, if you wish to survive, what do you do?
I don't know.
Bite.
Bite.
Are we not animals? You all right?
I can't find much evidence to the contrary, Lee. Bite, huh?
Biting is efficient in close quarter, but don't make a plan of biting. That is a very good way to lose your teeth.
There's so much to remember.
If you try to remember, you will lose. Empty your mind. Be formless, shapeless, like water. Now you put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. Put it into a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Now water can flow or creep or drip or crash. Be water, my friend.
Why don't I just stand in front of Bolt and recite that to him? Maybe he'll faint or drown.
When is it?
Tomorrow.
You are not ready.
I know.
Like everyone else, you want to learn the way to win, but never to accept the way to lose. To accept defeat, to learn to die is to be liberated from it. So when tomorrow comes, you must free your ambitious mind and learn the art of dying. May it be well with you, Mike.
Got a little cold going on. Howdy, y'all. My name is Joey Papa, and you're watching Joey Talks, where we talk about life and making it matter, y'all.
Do it Alabama, left that corner. Do it outside low.
Today, I want to talk to you about a question that you may be asking yourself more often than you'd like. Why am I so angry? You know, anger is a funny thing because it's never something that's enjoyable and it never really helps you out in life, and it definitely does not leave you feeling good inside when you get angry. But somehow, we can fall into anger really easily. In my own life, I've seen myself get angry over some of the pettiest, most ridiculous things. And I walk away from those situations and thinking to myself, why in the world did I get so angry? Like, what set me off? You're never angry about the thing that's provoking the anger within you. Let me say that again. You're never angry about the thing that is provoking the anger within you. Our minds can deceive us into thinking, oh, well, I dropped my groceries outside my door and that's why I'm angry. But you say that to anyone, or you just put that logically out in front of you, and it doesn't make sense. It doesn't add up. You are angry, I get angry because of fundamental beliefs that are happening underneath the surface of my life. And typically they're accumulated beliefs. There's stuff that starts to build up within us that we don't really recognize. It kind of hangs out in the back of the subconscious of our mind. It hangs out in the recesses of our thoughts. And we don't recognize that all of these beliefs are starting to happen. And so then when something doesn't work out for me, or something goes wrong, or there's an expectation I have that isn't met, all of that accumulated messages, beliefs that I've been having kind of pour out of me onto this event. So I end up basically blaming the situation, the person, the circumstance, life, whatever it is, for the reason why I'm getting angry. And don't we all do it? Because I do it. As soon as you get angry, you start justifying and finding every reason in the book why you just got angry. And anytime you feel like you need to justify something, it's probably because you know in your subconscious mind you should.
We're back on the Ash Sherrod Show right here on WLVSradio.com. Hit us up on social media at Ash Sherrod. Call us 202-270-0767. And I think I stole Grindstone's mic.
She did. Shout out to Gucci Man.
We're getting
out.
used to the new set.
Shout out
to we working the kinks out.
Everybody.
Greasy.
Shout out to Gucci Man.
Slightly greasy.
Somebody who got a greasy face in the summer. It's like that. It's humid out here.
You better bring a washcloth, a dry washcloth.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
in
you
your
need.
back pocket.
Yeah.
He has a big yellow one.
That's
right
how you
there.
beat the heat. That's how you beat the heat. You know what I'm saying? We beat the heat.
Okay.
Grindstone.
Oh, she can even wear that joint too.
Grindstone got a towel. You still wear basketball shorts under your jeans?
I never did that.
What?
All right.
What is
That was what them 2005 boys did. You was
white
like
tees.
17 in 2005. You did that.
Interesting.
I think they're still doing that.
17 and 2000. I had to like doing that.
Wasn't you like 17 in 2005?
Nah, man, I was in my 20s.
Yeah.
You
I
just
was
acting
17.
We're not that young out here. We're not that young out here.
2005, I was like
Millennials in the
24.
house. So tonight
23.
we're talking about being stuck in fear, stuck in anger, stuck in whatever you're stuck in, a relationship,
Tastes so good.
a mindset, whatever it may be. And we were talking about being stuck in fear and how do you get out of the whole idea of being stuck in fear? Because
Microdosing.
No. Microdosing is
Microdose
good.
mushrooms will get you out of any, if you're stuck anywhere.
DMT. I heard DMT will get you all the way.
What are these things?
Drugs. They are drugs.
But they're natural. But that's not even what I'm talking about.
Sidebar.
Right.
So look, on that clip
Yeah.
that you all just enjoyed
Bruce
so much.
Lee?
We with Bruce Lee.
That was tight.
Okay, now Bruce Lee just had this dude in a headlock. He was trying to teach him how to fight, and he was like, "Okay, what you gonna do now?" Right? And so the dude said he couldn't do anything because he couldn't use his arms because his arms were like pinned.
Yeah.
And so he said, "You had the will to survive, don't you? You want to survive." And so the guy was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Bite." Like fighting is very effective in close quarters. Bite. But then he was like, "But don't go into a fight with a plan to bite because then you lose your teeth." So you have to adapt to the situation and flow
Like
And
water.
live in that moment.
Yeah. And so another part, he was like, when is this big showdown that you have? And he said, whatever he said, 2 weeks, a week, tomorrow, whatever. But he was like, okay, you're not ready. So what you have to do, you have to, wait, what were the words? He said you have to
Become water.
No. After that, you have to, it was something like you have to come to terms, no, you have to learn to accept death. Because when you learn to accept death, you don't fear the worst anymore. and when you don't fear the worst anymore, then you can live in the moment, because fear is a projection of the future.
Right.
And anxiety is concern over the past.
Past and future.
Yeah, well, like anxiety is like, oh, this happened over there, so then that might happen over there. But like, once you're no longer afraid of the ultimate end of everything, then you're not afraid of anything.
Well, which is,
and that's how you get over fear.
Is what the next point after stuck equals fear. It says we're only stuck because we're afraid to deal with the bad stuff that we think could happen to us.
Yeah.
Either again or possibly. So there's a focus on that, like, well, you know, I don't want this to happen to me. Therefore, I am thinking about it now, and I'm creating anxiety and I'm creating fear. So now I am worried and dealing with it.
Yeah, and it's really, man, the mind is so powerful. Once you realize, I don't know, I used to think that there was a monster in the closet when I was little. I kind of, I saw Amityville Horror, Poltergeist. There was certain times I was like, well, I gotta pee, but I ain't peeing until the sunlight.
Not tonight.
This ain't going down.
Not tonight.
But then I started thinking about how creative that was for me to make myself believe the shit and for it to be that real. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, damn, if I could create that, I could create anything.
Any blood clot.
Yeah, I could, like, instead of creating
that
my
was your
fearful
mindset, though, at that particular time.
Yeah, but then I was like, okay, I could create anything. It could be a situation in front of me that looks like danger. I can create that to be pleasure or whatever. And that's how people should use, that's how you should use that fire. Like, don't create the worst case scenario in your mind because it hasn't even happened.
So harness your imagination into creating the reality that you want. So say it's kind of like the secret shit, like the law of attraction too.
Right.
That kind of plays into this as well.
Absolutely.
Like if you're stuck in something, and it's probably hard to tell someone who's broke as shit, like can't afford 2 pancakes.
Imagine.
And yeah, but that's the beginning.
Yeah.
Because all actions come from an initial thought.
What does the Bible say?
I don't know.
Without vision, ye shall perish.
Wrong scripture.
Yo, true. Yo, shout out to the Bible,
Shout out to the Bible. Hey, Bible.com.
Hey, yo, the Bible is popping. They got stories with whales.
Stone's spitting Bible verses tonight. What is going on?
You know anything from Deuteronomy? That's my favorite. Deuteronomy. I like saying it. Y'all know any scripture from Deuteronomy?
So if I asked each of you what has stopped you from doing something, I mean, maybe you've never been stopped before. I don't know. But if whatever feeling, whatever emotion, whatever it was that stopped you from doing something, how would you describe what stopped you?
Doubt and not having a condom.
So he was afraid you might catch that Zika.
I just completely lost the question after that response.
He thought he was going to catch the blue wobble.
Can I repeat the question?
Please repeat the question. I was thinking, and then it was just like...
Yo, catch up.
What
has stopped you?
What stopped you from doing something that you really wanted to do? Like when you think about it, when you give it a lot of thought, like what has prevented you from doing it?
Always fear.
A failure, probably.
Fear of failure, fear of not succeeding, fear of, for me, especially like being a mom, if it has something to do with something financial or something that has to do with a career move or something big like that, I'm always thinking, like, well, what if
what is it specifically?
It doesn't work?
Do you have something specifically?
Oh, here you go with the specifics,
what do you mean by
officer.
Specifically?
Well, I'll give you an example of something very specific that I was afraid
Even though
of.
he was being vague before.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
I thought you asked me
I
a
had to
question,
protect
but okay, go ahead.
The
Give me an
innocent.
example.
Well, no, okay, so specifically something that I was afraid of one time, and this might have changed the course of everything. I still don't know because I didn't do it. But this is when I was in high school. We were playing, it was a football game. We were playing this team called St. Patrick's, and the best dude on the team was like, he was a track star and he was running kicks back. And he was a running back or something. Like, he was just like, dude, big ass thighs. He just looked hella powerful, right? He just had all the football muscle.
Like O.J. Simpson.
He's like Earl Campbell or something crazy. Mm-hmm. So anyway, it was a kickoff. He was running right in my lane. And when I was in high school, I always wanted to crack my face mask or crack a helmet. Like, that's why motherfuckers have CTE now, because that was the goal.
That was the cool thing back in the day, yeah.
Like, I just wanted to make a collision so trifling that I damaged the equipment.
Yeah.
Wow.
Too much testosterone. Go ahead.
So, I mean, this is the way you play the game.
And then you started beating people up after that.
Well, no. Shout out to Ronnie Lott. He put that
choking
in.
him.
No, look, so
straight Debo went out
so
here.
he was coming right at me, right? And at that time, we were winning like 47. We were winning 40-something to 3.
It was a
So
blowout.
killing them, right?
Yeah.
And we got rewarded for hitting people hard. We got like stickers on our helmet, like you get hit of the week
Wow.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So like he was coming right down my lane, and I was like, "Damn, this is the chance," because this dude was generating enough energy for this collision to happen. And I was like, "Nah." And then I went for his ankle, and the nigga jumped over me and ran the kickback.
And he scored a touchdown?
He scored a touchdown. Yeah.
Oh man.
We ended up beating him 47-10 though.
But it would have been 47-3 had you not done that.
Yeah.
Had
yeah.
you like manned
and
up.
That,
and
but you know, and
did
that
what you
hit
needed
could have
to
been
do.
so tremendous.
It would have changed your life.
I could have got an offer from Cal or Stanford.
You
or
may-
something. They could
yeah.
have looked at me like, "Damn, he put out the best nigga in the county."
You might own 10 Arby's by
That
now.
might have actually been a good fear to have, though.
Yeah, I mean,
you could have been taken
I was-
all the way out.
Yeah.
I could have been drooling right
That
now.
might have been a positive fear.
Dog,
if
in
that
high
makes
school-
sense.
Think about it.
God made
I
that
will-
move for you.
I will never know. I will never.
But I
ever
actually, I do have a good example. So I'm in sales. You know,
Yeah,
as
you selling them
everyone-
cribs. You selling cribs hard body.
I do, but I'm, like the thing I like about real estate, or I love about real estate, is you have a choice in how you can sell. Like, it doesn't have to be like a car salesman, or, you don't have to be all aggressive with it, but you do have the choice to be more aggressive with it. And I think the really successful people I know the really successful salespeople in real estate are the one that knock on doors and they cold call.
Mm-hmm.
Two things that I've never done, and I feel like I would never do. I'm not going to say never, but I feel like that whole situation is very uncomfortable to me. And it's interesting as I analyze it to myself, right? Because it's a fear of rejection. It's a fear of knocking on somebody's door and then shutting the door on me and being like, "Go home."
And
or
they would spit on you,
someone
some of them.
hanging up on me and being like, "I don't want to talk to you." Even though clearly, to be an entrepreneur, to be, to be successful in life, you've been rejected.
You gotta
before,
spit that game. You gotta pull up and spit that
but
shit.
that particular fear, it doesn't allow me to grow in that facet
Right.
of my sales life, because I'm not willing to do that. I'm not willing to be rejected. I'm not willing to feel how that feels and fail at that, because what if I fail at it?
Right.
Even though rationally I know I've failed at so many things in life,
Right.
and I've come out stronger and better for it.
But like, from the point of you thinking I'm gonna do this, I'm unsure, to the rejection, the span is like a matter of seconds.
I get it. I get it.
But what I'm saying, that could fuel your fear, because you're like, damn, I'm gonna find out immediately if this shit worked or not. As a man, you always got to spit game. I feel a man is always spitting game to women, trying to get another woman on your team.
Pretty boys don't really have to spit game.
What do you mean?
Well, they whack then. Fuck them. They bottom of the totem pole. I'm saying.
No, but they don't. I feel like, like pretty boys don't have to do certain things. I mean, certain people don't have to do certain things. Pretty girls don't have to do certain things.
I'm cute.
Yo, call us up. Let us know if you think Grindstone cute. If you think Grindstone cute.
But I ain't grow up cute.
Yeah.
So like,
he a late bloomer.
yeah. So like, I had to sharpen my pencil, and so like when it comes to me in a situation, I'm ready to approach the situation verbally.
Yeah.
Yes, I wasn't the dude in middle school where I wasn't getting kisses at my locker.
Me neither,
Some
dog.
dudes was getting kisses at their locker.
They were getting, but they peaked though. But my problem was
Right.
my problem was my cranium. My head was the same size when I was in 6th grade as it is now. My body grew into it,
Okay.
so I was not attractive to the ladies. Like they would invite me to the little 8th grade kissing parties and shit just so I could watch. You dig? Like I'd have to sit out.
So you keep score.
They talking about spin the bottle and it's gonna come into me. She's like,
breaking stuff.
that's what it's like to kiss me in 7th grade. I break things.
Yeah, but I think as a man, you constantly cold calling in person.
Yeah, all day.
Yeah, a lot of men.
Well,
a lot of
some
men do
men.
that.
I mean, you're speaking for all men right now.
Every man.
I'm speaking for a lot of men who are getting it in life.
Well, you always selling yourself to some degree, even
I
if you're
think
just.
generalized expectations as a man. You talk to like dating, like a man is going to make the move. Like he's going to try for a lot of
And
women.
this is such a different day because women are out here making moves.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah, they made
but
moves.
still, I think generalizing, I think most men are really shocked and surprised when a woman makes a move on them.
Not
versus-
anymore, man.
Really?
Not
No.
anymore.
No? You
I was
don't
at the
think so?
club
Well,
last night. This girl slid into my DMs in real life. Like she slid into me.
Wait,
A
Look,
direct.
I think the
direct
DM has
massage.
created.
I'm not even.
Yeah, she
No,
slid,
but
she slid
social
right
media
into me
has
directly.
created an entire different dynamic, and you know the actual. You don't have to have the same courage in person, because you could DM somebody, you can text somebody, and then block them and never hear from them again.
But see, at the end of the day,
choices.
The person who goes and addresses another person face to face is the person who's gonna win.
Yeah.
That's just how it works. Shout out to my man sitting over here. Y'all can't see him. You probably won't see him the whole broadcast. But
is anyone's hands sweaty? Just
no, it's you. You all right?
Stop holding your mic so tight.
Stop holding it so tight.
That's so close.
But what it is,
To your mouth.
he got this thing where he walks up to people on the street.
Yeah.
Spits that shit.
Yeah. What, like bars? Like he's a rapper? He's gonna
Nah, he
mix
just
it?
got a whole thing, and I mean I can't tell you his whole skit because then everybody gonna steal that shit. But like, it works out. But like for me to do the same thing, it's like the same learning curve of talking to a woman, like what talking to a woman used to be. And I'm just like, damn, he just do that shit effortless.
Yeah,
but he's winning because of it.
I had a fear like that. Like, I always knew that I wanted to do stand up. A long time ago, I wanted to do it. Like,
Right.
when I was like 21, 22, I started thinking about it. And I just, oh no, I'm not going to do it. They're not going to like me. They're not going to think I'm funny, you know? And I was just concerned about everything other than my desire to do that thing. And then, you know, as I got older, it became overwhelming. And I positioned myself. I started hanging out with comics and going to comedy clubs. And they're like, you should just do the thing.
Right.
We know that's why you're here.
Right.
And then I just did it, and I feel so much better. But I kind of feel stupid for not doing it
Long time
12
ago.
years ago.
Right. Yeah.
I would have had so much more shmoney.
Well, and then I think that's something that people often focus on is what other people are going to think of them if they fail or if they don't get it right the first time. Or it's very rare that somebody is really worried about, you know, the ultimate feeling of how they're looking at themselves. They're really worried about how the outside world is looking at them, and that in itself creates a certain level of stuckness because.
Here I got 4 words for that. This is your antidote right here. You ready?
Yeah.
Scared men can't win.
Word. And we have a culture that we present these success stories and these celebrities as if they're just like magical, like they're born amazing, and people don't like to talk about the hustle.
Right.
You know what I mean? They don't see you working out. They only see the muscle. You dig? And they think that it just.
You were there shooting with me when I was in the gym. That type
but
of thing.
kind of, yeah, in a way. And because of that, there's like this aversion to failure. When failure is only part of the process. Failure is how you get
better.
to that shmoney.
Before there was Diddy, there was
Andre Harrell.
Puffy.
Oh.
You know, Puffy was carrying records. Puffy was dancing for Dougie Fresh.
Yeah, hard, sweating with a
Yeah.
jerry
We're
curl.
not really taught that, right? Like, I don't think, generally speaking,
He was dancing for Dougie Fresh for free.
we are
No
taught.
money. Right.
No, but
Yeah.
we're not taught that failure is okay. Like, I don't, you know, and maybe we should be taught that. Like,
Make
maybe,
excellent mistakes.
you know,
I think that's accurate, and I think that over time, though, this like generationally, it's been more acceptable. Because even when you think about like maybe our parents, our grandparents' generation, it was always like you play it safe. You know, you go get that job, you go to college, you just work that job, a government job, or around here you might have a good metro job or whatever it is that you have. You hold on to
Get
that
that
because
goddamn
you don't
pension.
never know. You know, just based on things they went through with their childhood and depression, all that. But now, I mean, when you look at the generation that's going on here, like most people, even one of the stats I have for later in the show, like 56% of millennials either already have had their own business or like starting their own business. Like it's very much more accepted to not stick to just one thing. Like you're doing different things, you're trying different things. Some things don't work, other things do, and you just keep on trying until you find it is what it is that's a niche.
Well, you know, the other interesting thing, you know, as we talk about fear is the other day I was in the kitchen with my son and, you know, I was teasing him that he didn't go see a movie with us because it's like, thank God you didn't see that movie because you'd be sleeping with me for like the next 8 weeks. Cause,
What was it, The Visit?
No, just Independence Day, but because of the aliens and all of that.
Okay.
I mean, he's 6, but even though he acts like he's 36, and I was like, I was going to take him, but I didn't know what the aliens look like. But anyways, we're sitting in the kitchen. It's Sunday morning, and I'm cooking breakfast. And somehow the conversation comes up and he says something about my mom, and it made me think. And he's like, yeah, he calls my mom, his grandmother, Mama. And he's like, yeah, it doesn't matter. I mean, Mama's not afraid of anything. And I was like, that's very interesting that his perception at 6 years old is that his grandmother is not afraid of anything.
How do you think it developed?
Then,
So grandma's a G?
and then no, but it made me think about myself and like my own fearlessness, right? And even though I'm a scarier person than she is, but just generally speaking, even though I'm scarier, I still push through, probably because of her teachings, because of the way that she's raised me. Like, you're not gonna know unless you try, okay? You're not. If you fail, it's okay, but at least you failed trying. And her fearlessness has been passed on to me, and hopefully
crazy.
that I will be doing the same thing for my child, which was, it was a very beautiful moment for me because I never thought about it like that. I never thought about, but when he said it, I was like, you're right, Mama's not afraid of anything.
That's crazy.
Walking around the house like, nigga, eat that spinach, boy.
That's what's for dinner tonight. That's what we eat for dinner tonight, Slim. Yeah, my mom is kind of the same way with the fearlessness. She's a saleswoman as well. She sells drugs. Novartis. She works for Novartis.
Okay.
What is that?
It's a pharmaceutical drug company. So she's pushing weight.
Opiates.
She deals mostly with like cancer stuff and like different drugs. But yes.
Weed. Did your mama sell weed?
I don't think she does anymore. I think.
Okay.
Because she was doing wholesale for a bit.
I'm just kidding. Mom was catching bags.
Your mom is about to call the show.
I'm just kidding.
She probably had that brown weed though.
I'm just kidding. What, that Branson?
Jamaican.
The chocolate tie. But yeah, I think I kind of inherited some of that fearlessness because although I do like coil into a ball and become a hermit every once in a while, I am fairly outgoing. And when I'm outgoing, I'll just go I'll talk in anyone's face. I don't care who you are, how many people you killed, how much money you have. I don't give a shit. And I think I got that from her.
Nice.
And I love her for that. So shout out.
And it has a little bit to do with you being an attention whore. But right now, we're going to go to this break.
We're
going to a break on the Serato
well.
Show. Hey, come back. Call in when you come back. We'll be right here for you.
Nasty Nars.
That's my black stuff. Yeah. On my downtime, I defy the devil. I'm high off life than the real estate price. I'm a gorilla. They mice and writing my signs. No opposable thumb, so don't get mad if I don't text back. I'm just kicking my feet up. In the thick of the scrum, I'm off a leader of rum. On social media, watch the chumps get beat up, but when they hear this shit, it's gonna rip the street up. It's a license plate rattler. Earbud blood drips. Fist in the black glove like John Carlos. Gun in the glove to rob a few Wells Fargo. To build prison off the interest on your car note. Black stuff. Bobby said Bobby Brown. Black stuff. Story. Some of the Chi-Town. Black stuff. Black stuff.
Black stuff, not just the features. Black like heart-breathing preachers. Black like funk from your speakers. Black like names with Quantaniqua. Black stuff like country cousins, like Big Mama and lots of loving. Biscuits and cornbread out the oven. I never named Junebug up to something. Black stuff like I be like gritting on a nigga when it's time to fight. Keep your head above water when times are tight. Good times screaming dynamite from Dolomite to the Mac. Rent money folded in rubber band stacks. Real stuff being spit on the track. When you bring my stuff, man, I want my stuff black.
Black stuff. Bobby said Bobby Brown. Black stuff. Some of the Chi-Town. Black stuff. Black stuff, boy. Black stuff. Yaddy daddy dada, all they do is talk. I speak street scripture straight from the sidewalk. I came in the game prepared to pitch. Fuck a balk, that's a bras move. You can have that lane. Bitch saw you. Damn like the brand new. I'm doing too much. Better believe it. Fools is out of touch, paraplegic. These balls are from the hard boy, pledge allegiance. Balls I'm a winner, still living prestigious. Shining like a rich nigga's bald head. I got Merc work for tracks called TED Talks when it's all done and said. If you come up with truth, you come up dead. Bobby Brown. Black stuff. Some of the Chi-Town. Black stuff. Black stuff, boy. Black stuff.
A lot of real G's doing time. Got tripped up by the blue line. Will justice come in due time? Don't need discovery to see true crime. Cops take the Kojak when they Barney Fife. Wanna bet my life that the job done right? The whole city might burn down one night if a cop put a trigger on my child in sight. Hands up, don't shoot, don't work in gunfights. So we're organized with a bunch of Garveyites. I don't ask, I demand my civil rights. I demand my streets feel safe at night. Don't care who the grand jury indicts or the FBI or the police. This justice system is bought at a price 3/5 of a fuck for a black man's life.
Bubble Shotty and Mugabe all wrapped in one. Hot as equatorial air dipped in sun. This is hottest freestyle session of your day. Hotter than AC and OJ in the interstate. In a white Bronco, behold the pale horse. And the shit they shoveling. Hell of a sales force under this republic. Trying to get y'all to just buy in. Too many black parents are crying. Peace to Eric Gardner. Police to get the karma. Shout to black execs. Cut relief checks to all black farmers. Black stuff. Bobby Huddle, Bobby Brown. Black stuff. The big scale black stuff. Black stuff. You all way out. Black stuff. I'm where solar winds and interstellar matter meet. Where Mother Nature lays niggas at her feet. It's deep. Like triple stage darkness of the womb, or I'm out to shaking the closet door in your bedroom. It's black stuff. Boom. Bobby Soda, Bobby Brown, black stuff. Selma to Chi-Town, black stuff. Ron Brown, the brown bag, test to Tulsa. Reginald Lewis and Zulu Nation culture. All church, we're preaching again. Through amps and mics, we remain magnetic. Fuck the pole lights, yeah, I said it. Black stuff. Bobby Soda, Bobby Brown, yeah. Black stuff. Selma to Chi-Town, black stuff. Black children, black stuff. No handlebars on the bikes. No seats. Hard time staying awake, no breakfast. Shout out to all them single moms.
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate professional makes all the difference by helping you navigate the many decisions that arise when buying, selling, or leasing a property. At RE/MAX Sky Real Estate, our agents have the experience, expertise, and drive to help you find that perfect property. RE/MAX Sky is here for you if you're purchasing your first home, searching for a luxury home, or looking for commercial space. As the first luxury RE/MAX collection office in the district, we offer specialized services to clientele focused on purchasing luxury real estate. We're dedicated to delivering outstanding service and results you can count on. Contact RE/MAX Sky today to get started, or visit us online at www.remax-skyre.com to learn more about how an experienced real estate professional can assist you. Serving Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. RE/MAX Sky. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
I just came out the weight room this morning. I'm going back in the weight room again this evening. I work out over 5 times a day. For one simple reason. I don't like where I once was. I didn't like where I once was. So I promised myself, I promised my mom, I promised my sisters, I promised my city that I won't be back there. So when I walk in this gym, when I walked in that little ring over there and saw that ring, that's what I remember. That's where I grind it from. That's all I know. All I know is grind. And I'm looking at each one of y'all eyes right now, and it's grinding, each one of y'all. But now each one of y'all got to find out who's gonna become the leader. Who's gonna take that next step to tell somebody, man, let's shoot 500 times a day. If coach got us shooting 100 times a day, let me shoot 500. I tell my son, if you want to play basketball, you want me to pay for you to play basketball, you got to shoot over 1,000 times a day. If you good in your right hand, and your right hand is the only thing you know how to use, put it behind your back, lock it with a belt, and use it every time you come in the gym. Dribble with your left hand. Make your left think like your right. That's if basketball is what you're trying to do. And whatever you're trying to do.
Ain't it funny how even the worst of heathens try to get righteous when they think the Lord is about to tap them on the shoulder?
Listen, Esther, if I wasn't so sick, I would give you one of these across your ugly lips.
Who you calling ugly, sucker?
I'm calling you ugly. I could stick your face in some dough and make some gorilla cookies.
On the Ash Sherrod Show, right here on WLVS Radio. Call us 202-270-0767. Hit us up on social media at Ash Sherrod.
Get your popcorn and gorilla cookies out.
Ask her the questions. Ask Sherrod the questions. Yo, shout outs to Red Fox, the late great. You know what I mean? That boy had bars.
More jokes than anybody. Him and Rodney Dangerfield just 200 jokes.
Yeah. Black. Pure joke on your face.
Yeah.
Pure joke. So we're talking about being stuck in relationships, in career, in life, in a closet.
So the Red Fox Esther one, that was stuck in a relationship. Even though they weren't dating, they had a relationship in which they were stuck and they was always angry with one another. And then the one before that, Ray Lewis was talking about how he worked out because he wanted to make something of himself because he did not like where he once was. So he was taking the steps to become unstuck. And he promised his sisters, his city, his mom that they would not be in this position.
So he was trying to become the person that he was destined to be.
Yeah, and he was explaining how he began to take the steps to do that.
By thinking,
he had
and
the vision.
putting in work.
Without vision, ye shall perish.
Word up. Is that in Deuteronomy? Is that Deuteronomy?
Deuteronomy.
That's my favorite.
Deuteronomy, get your ass in here.
I would not
Come on, let's
take any
scream, though.
association with either of those statements.
So I think touching back on what we were talking about in relation to mindfulness, I think there are still some important things to say about that in regards to our controlled thoughts, right? Like to be able to take control of our thoughts, which is a practice essentially. Like, you're not able to do that in tough moments, but you have to work to that and through that to be able to say, okay, I could be feeling really sad right now. I could be wallowing. I could be here, but it takes work to get out of those spaces. So, how does one get out of those spaces? How do you even start with controlling that thought process, that mindset, so you don't stay stuck in those past moments or those potential future moments, but you move forward in the now, essentially?
What?
Yoga.
I think that the work
Did
for
you say that?
those moments starts before you even get in those moments. Like, I notice for myself personally, when I'm consciously making effort every day, every morning, meditate, every morning workout, every morning pray, every morning focus on affirmations, every morning, like, just starting my day like that consistently, it's very difficult for something else to permeate that mood and change who I am. Even if it's something that's really bad, I still will be like, oh, Dad, that's messed up. But I'm in a good mood today.
But
so
you got to be disciplined.
whatever, like it's discipline, right? And then,
Yeah.
but when you're not practicing in that way, and you if you fall off or you're not disciplined in that way, certain things, as soon as they impact you, can just change everything. Your whole day can be completely controlled by one incident that just really just messed you up because you didn't have the time to yourself, whether it's the morning, afternoon, evening, before you go to bed, whatever, to really put yourself in that spirit. And so coming out of that is so much more difficult than when you are already adding in the things that are good. But then once you're in it, I think that is, naturally you have to go through some cycle of understanding the situation. And actually, Grindstone shared a really good book that I read now, because I'm a reader now.
All right.
It's The Practice of Awakening the Heart. And part of that understanding and forgiving and moving through that pain or that hurt or that anger is acknowledging that you feel that way and telling your heart, like, I know that you're hurting. I know that you're upset. I know that you're feeling this way, but it's gonna change, and there's positivity. Because a lot of times you just try to act like everything's okay, but your body can't physically allow you to do that. So the more you try to ignore it and just like, oh, everything's fine, I'm just gonna hang out, or I'm gonna party, I'm gonna drink, I'm gonna have sex with somebody else.
Yep.
Those things don't go away without you really just addressing your heart and saying everything is gonna be okay.
So I have a question for the group. Has anyone here ever been in a situation where they were stuck in a cycle of dangerous behavior, or stuck in a binge era, or just stuck being nasty for a period and tried to break that? Like, sometimes I
was stuck in a party.
When? Recently?
No.
You didn't call me.
No, I mean, like, I had this incredible need to be out every single night.
And do vice.
No, I mean, not necessarily.
Do a hood rat thing.
The idea of needing to just not be home, like away from home. And I was stuck in that. Like, I mean, I like to party, but not every night. And I think.
Was it shortly after your divorce?
No, it was in between divorces.
What do you
between divorces? Don't it be a marriage in between divorces?
Wait, you had 2 divorces?
Yes. So But in
You need to wear a
between-
black wedding dress to your next one.
Yeah, let's pray for you. But I think you'd be
Don't
all right.
pray for me. I'm
Nah.
okay with me.
MC Hammer once said, "You got to pray just to make it today." That's why we pray.
I pray every day.
You said it was in between divorces.
I know that was just a crazy
must be
sentence.
A marriage.
That's a crazy way to say it.
But the second one, obviously, like, okay, we fast forward.
In between the words, that was very funny. That was definitely funny.
You out.
You guys got what I was saying.
That was
My
definitely
point
funny.
is that I went through a period of time in my life where my vice was being out every night. And although I am the type of personality that likes to be out all the time, I was covering up all the emotions that I was dealing with in between,
The
A
divorces.
lot of people deal with that.
divorces.
After a breakup, it's just like
With alcohol.
The idea of like they say
Maybe
men
some,
and women.
some people do it
different
with
things.
alcohol, drugs, whatever. I was doing it with being out and about.
But you were drinking them
every
Cosmos though.
night.
Because you drinking to kill you.
What about you, Grindstone?
Well, I was around some fairly dangerous behavior, and when I say dangerous behavior, I was just hanging around some dead people, and I knew they were dead, and I was finding myself with them day after day and being like, man, these niggas tripping. But I'm the 10th nigga with 9 dead niggas, so I'm like, you know what? I'm them.
Yeah.
They're me.
You are the company you keep.
Yeah, so then that's when I started getting into fasting. And when I started fasting quarterly, and I don't fast quarterly now, but when I started doing that, it changed so many things about for lack of a better word, my aura. And then like the bullshit didn't want to hang around me as much.
Yeah, because them
They had
niggas
to
need
find
chicken.
other places to hang.
They need constant chicken.
Yeah, chicken?
Yeah, nigga. Constant chicken for dead niggas.
Yeah, so like when I say fast, what was the cleanse? It was the master cleanse. So quarterly I'll do the master
Did
cleanse.
you do the saltwater flush when you did the master cleanse?
Yeah, and it's projectile.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so I did the master cleanse.
Thanks for the visual on that.
Right.
And
Grindstone.
it would put me in a place where I couldn't physically interact with all the stuff that they were doing. And as I was sitting in my solitude of, no food, just being in a rare physical place, it took me to a mental place, it took me to a spiritual place. And it wasn't something where I was like, I'm spiritual. It was none of that, because then like fresh off the fast, I would be in dream. Right? And I remember one time I was I just did a 5-day fast, and I just came off, so it was like day 6, but I was just on juices. I was in dream, and this dude, he was like, man, I'm fucked up right now. I ain't getting nothing, but nigga, you glowing. I'm not lying.
Yo, that's the best
He was
compliment.
mindful and aware.
He was mindful and aware.
How did you respond to that?
I was like, man, thank you.
Did you tell him about the cleanse?
No.
It's the club. You can't really talk about that. But I think for you, you had to do something different to get unstuck from
I had
that
to do something totally different,
binge.
and not eating was just very different. And so I realized like when things become a sickness in your life, you can't feed it anymore. And sometimes that means literally feed it. But you have to just pull all the way back.
When things become a sickness in your life, you cannot feed it.
You cannot.
Explain that.
Well, okay.
What would be an example of that?
All right, an example of it is if you're around people who, say you hang around thieves.
They stealing.
They're saying we about to go do this.
Mm-hmm.
You down with them, you gonna ride, but you might not take nothing, but you there. If it goes down, you getting arrested too. You're there. You can't feed it by riding and trying to talk them out of it. You can't go.
Straight up, you can't feed.
You can't. Yeah, so like
the thieves.
So the people who you're around, it's not like
thieves.
You can't be in their presence and then think that like you're gonna talk them out of it. You can no longer participate.
You can't put your energy in that environment.
Right, at all. So that could be in a relationship, that could be in whatever, but you just can't do that.
What?
I can't show up with you no more.
So I have a question that someone asked me earlier on text about the subject, tonight about being stuck, and this is specific to relationships. And I didn't quite know how to answer the question, but I've certainly been in that place before where, you were the person who did the wrong, You know, like you were the one that hurt the other person, and there's a process that you have to go through as, you know, you mend the relationship because you both chose to stay there, and the other person is stuck, and you are attempting to unstuck them, but they're stuck.
To unstuck them.
Yeah, unstuck them.
Release them too.
Yeah. So how, you know, like, how do you both coexist in that moment? Because that other person wants you to be stuck with them because they want you to feel remorse, right? They want you to feel sadness. They want you to feel what they are feeling. And if you are not feeling what they're feeling, then you are not really remorseful. So how?
They the remorse police?
Well, you have to have
essentially.
compassion and patience in that scenario.
Yes, but you know, in those moments, it doesn't. I don't think it really matters how much compassion you have because it will never be enough in that
But
moment.
patience, that's where patience comes in, right? If someone
Perhaps,
is
yeah.
projecting their shit and they're angry and they're stuck and they're upset and there's some resentment perhaps that you're not stuck, if you love that person a lot, like more than yourself and food and air, then maybe you would be patient and work through, help them work through this process, right? Be like, listen, you got to. I had a woman
How
do
do you
this
do
to
that?
me.
How do you do
I will
that?
tell you what she did to
Okay.
me. I was doing what you're describing. I was stuck. I was projecting my anger and dissatisfaction with life on her, on our relationship. It was a lot of pressure, you know? And she said, we broke up and then got back together. And she was like, listen, if we're going to do this again, here are the rules. She wrote a contract. I think I've referred to this before, but it was like a few things. One was like, you know, you got to drink 4 drinks a week or something like that. You got to go to AA.
She was your PO.
You got to go to therapy. We doing couples therapy. I wasn't ready for that because I was like 22, but this was a person who was organized and ready with her life and ready to get
Right.
to, you know, where she needed to get to. I wasn't there. I was stuck, and subsequently we're not together anymore. But I mean,
she was too controlling.
Nah, she was at a different place in life. Like she was ahead.
Right.
I wasn't caught up, and she was trying, but you can't really reach like that for people. Because at a minimum, they're going to resent you. At a maximum, they're going to hate you and cheat on you like I did. You feel me?
Well, I get
swag,
the
swag.
patience thing. I mean, that's a great point. You know, being patient in those moments. But I just think that breeds a lot of different feelings and emotions on both sides because, you know, everything that I've ever learned about evolution and growth and all of that is that at the end of the day, we are all responsible for ourselves.
Word.
So for me to want you to do or feel what I feel is crazy, you
It
know,
is crazy.
or vice versa. Like I would hope that you could feel exactly how I'm feeling, and I would hope that you have complete 100% understanding. But the reality of it is it probably isn't going to happen, and I have to accept that. So in that thought process, all I can be in control of is myself, and if you are the hurt party or I am the hurt party, whoever is the hurt party has to understand that. And if I am the one that's, you know, trying to redeem myself, all I can do is work on myself one day at a time, right?
That's all you can do. And let me tell you, we have this lesson every day. Okay? You don't like someone's darkness, right? And so you try to rush them to what you consider the light. However, you cannot rush the sunrise.
Ooh.
We'll be right back.
Okay.
We'll be right back to the
Ah,
Afterado after
that
this
was
break.
deep.
Blew your mind.
Drop the
Whether you're interested in buying or selling a home, there's no bigger decision than choosing the person who will represent you during the transaction. A qualified, experienced real estate professional makes all the difference by helping you navigate the many decisions that arise when buying, selling, or leasing a property. At RE/MAX Sky Real Estate, our agents have the experience, expertise, and drive to help you find that perfect property. RE/MAX Sky is here for you if you're purchasing your first home, searching for a luxury home, or looking for commercial space. As the first luxury RE/MAX collection office in the district, we offer specialized services to clientele focused on purchasing luxury real estate. We're dedicated to delivering outstanding service and results you can count on. Contact RE/MAX Sky today to get started, or visit us online at www.remax-skyre.com to learn more about how an experienced real estate professional can assist you. Serving Washington, D.C., Maryland, and Virginia. RE/MAX Sky. Outstanding agents, outstanding results.
I changed my business model. What I learned in my experience in the corporate world and with Rockefeller was, if I want to be truly happy, I got to put up the money. Because whoever puts up the money is the boss, and that's that. It doesn't matter if someone gave someone a lot of money to watch. That's not a boss, that's a supervisor. And that supervisor usually thinks he's a boss and projects as a boss and will piss someone else off that's putting up the money. So a lot of my frustration would come from the fact that everyone that was speaking, none of them put up the dough. And we put up our own money. We were partners. We had a 50-50 venture. So in that environment, it would frustrate me. It'd be like being at a dice game and someone else speaking on your money. Because usually in corporate, no one's putting up the money. It's public, and there's a board, and there's a bunch, one person that's making decisions is using their own dough. I can't talk to people or be nice to people that I don't respect that aren't putting up the money. After selling my interest in Rockwear so that I can put the money into what I wanted to put it into, which was Rachel Roy and other fashion things and magazines and all that stuff, my life became a lot easier because I never had to argue with anybody again because I was the boss, and I still am. A boss doesn't get told what to do. Of course, a boss might get advice from an OG, advice, but you're not being told what to do.
It's The Rock!
We're back. Talking about how to be a boss of your own life.
Yeah, and not be stuck.
Be a boss of your own life. I'm going to tell you one thing that invited me to the world of bossness.
Gems.
It was Master P.
Bad.
And it was before he got mystical. It was when I was really peeping Master P's game, I was like, damn, he is in a pool of sharks. And he decided to swim to a whole nother part of the ocean and run his own situation. And it was at the time, it was something that didn't really seem possible.
Yeah. He should have been stuck, considering where he comes from.
He studied the same information, and he did his thing the way he wanted to do his thing. And I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter how small you start. Just start.
And maximize the elements you can control.
Just start. Right. And so I encourage everybody,
I'm surprised he hasn't written a book. Or has he?
I don't know.
But we saw
He's got a movie
about
coming
it.
out. No, not that. I mean, he's
What
got
was the
like
other one that was? It was a couple.
I got the
movies.
hookup.
Yeah.
Holla if you hear me. He's got a like a biopic coming out on No Limit.
Of course, it's on No Limit.
Well, I think
Bootleg.
that's an interesting point that you bring up, Grindstone, about just starting. And it's like just getting yourself out there and making a baby step gets you going. But how does one that is fearful just start? Like,
Stop being a little bitch.
Well,
Jesus.
Like that's what I did. I stopped being a little bitch and I
Yeah.
went up on stage and I did the thing.
Right, you got to throw yourself in the arena to the point where it's like, okay, either I'm gonna pass out in front of everybody, which
But
is a
how
start.
do you build yourself up? Okay, if you're not thug life like y'all.
Y'all, look at me.
How do you build yourself up? I mean, mentally.
True.
How do you build yourself up to get to that point? Like, what baby steps can one take to get to that point? Because it's easier for us to say, especially as entrepreneurs and people who are, doing multiple new things on a daily basis and not fearing failure generally. But for those who have never put themselves out there, I think it's a bigger step to take.
I think it's. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, in career, okay, like just speaking towards career, the first baby step that you can make that involves zero failure, read the information that the person who's doing what you want to do is reading
or has written.
Right. Yeah. Start there.
Also, you want to surround yourself with positive people that are trying to live their dreams and trying to do things and like encourage each other. Like, it's so crazy. Like, there's so many people who have opportunities to do amazing things in this world, but they're surrounded by negative Nancys, I call them, that tear you down and are like the opposite of inspiration.
I so agree with that, because I feel like even though at the moment I don't own a business, I have taken different steps to try things like that based on being surrounded by people who do. Just because I feel like I've seen examples of people who have done that and are doing very well. And so it's not so out of reach to me, even when I think about comparisons between most of the people that I grew up with or, you know, the larger part of my family. Not to say there's anything wrong with that, but it's just a lot of people have the mindset of you get a job and you keep that job and you work that job, you get your retirement, and that's the end. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with that, but it's not necessarily what I want for my life ultimately. So for me, it's about finding a balance between the two, and the sense of, you know, I'm in a position where I need to make sure I can feed my family and not just, I can't just jump out there and eat ramen noodles and, you know, stay in my parents' basement, which is some people is the route they have to take in order to start living in their dream. But I also don't necessarily limit myself into my surroundings of people who have the mindset of just working a job and just living that and just being in a reality and being comfortable, because it's very easy, especially in the DC area, to get a job and just keep that job and do well. And for me, it's not even the financial aspect that draws me to being an entrepreneur. It's the freedom of my time first, and then potentially the financial aspect, which is being able to say, you know what, I'm not going to work today. I'm going to go to my son's school and go on this field trip, and nobody's going to say anything to me because I am my own boss. So I think it depends on making sure that you're also surrounding yourself. Even if you just don't know any entrepreneurs, go online. Get on some of these Facebook groups. You can be in these Facebook groups talking about all types of crazy
It's so
sex.
easy nowadays.
Get into one of these Facebook groups where they're talking about entrepreneurship and they're posting articles and talking about business and different things that are going to stimulate you mentally to deep thinker into what it is that you want to do and how to go about it.
Well, I'll be totally honest. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
That's good though.
No, I'm serious. I don't know
Meaning?
what in the fuck I'm doing with my business.
Because you are water.
Yeah, like
you're flowing into whatever.
Like July and August hold challenges for me that I've never faced, that I've totally set up myself to face, but I've just never done this shit before. Right? It's just two big events, and I'm like, okay, I ain't never done this shit before, but I'm walking smooth off into the fire. And I'm okay with that. And I constantly do that. I do that all the time.
But at some point, Grindstone, somebody had to say that was okay to you for that to be okay to you. Like, at some point in your life, somebody had to say that new experiences, new challenges, new everything is okay, or was okay, or is going to be okay.
You read something, or
something you had to connect on some level with that thought process.
Well, I'll tell you this. Well, what happened? It was really the pain of poverty when I had a job, and then when I ran out of gas going to work one morning, that was the moment that I was like, well, shit, can't get no worse than this. I may as well try my own hand. I could run out of gas being as unsuccessful as anybody, you know. And so, but I ran out of gas on the way to my job. And
symbolically, that's just crazy.
Yeah, and I was just like, damn, you know. And it was a job that was paying me. You know, I had to decide between food and gas sometimes. Like I just was not getting enough to like make that shit pop. So that's when I was like, shit, I could totally do this on my own. And I was better with my areas of not knowing what's going on than being in somebody else's trick bag and knowing that every 2 weeks I was gonna get disrespected with that little ass check.
Oh, those checks with those deductions too.
Yeah, I just like I was better off like making my own choice. So with my business, I don't.
So you don't think it started before that? You don't think it started at?
Well, you
at
had the spirit, right?
Earlier place in life, like nothing that maybe that your mother or father did that encouraged.
Well, I know
change and.
My mother always told me, go learn so you could get a job, so you could learn the business, so you could own the company. But she didn't own the company, so I didn't know what that was about. And then, looking back, that's funny. Right when I talked to her, that's my mom calling me right now.
Aww.
Yeah.
That's when you connect. That's when you're in sync.
Word out.
But I didn't know what that looked like. And so even though when I look back, shout out to my peoples once again, the whole family owned the school that I came up in elementary, pre-K to elementary. So I did know what business ownership looked like, but I didn't even digest that as business ownership. That just seemed like the way things were. So when I started understanding ownership, it came through the hustlers. Dudes who were repaving the basketball courts in their neighborhood off the hustle money and
Oakland,
paying the bills and all that shit. And I was just like, damn, that's what running your own life looks like. So that's
we're not advocating for that, right?
No, we're not. But I'm just saying the spirit.
At the Asherado Show, we don't advocate for illegal activity.
But the spirit is real, and I think that kind of coincide with a lot of what I've seen just in people around me and the fearful people around me. When I look at their youth or maybe their parents, and I'm around their parents or around people they grew up with, and they're afraid of everything. Mm-hmm. They're afraid of the way a person looked coming into the building. They're afraid of what could happen. They're fearful, and the fearfulness that they grew up around breeds their fear.
So vicious cycle.
It's it's that energy. It's that continued energy that flows. And how does one break that cycle if they grew up in that? How do you get to that next place? What words of wisdom can we give people trying to get unstuck and change their careers or get out of a dysfunctional relationship or get out of anger?
So what it is that keeps people there is comfort, right? It's some type of comfort. Okay.
Security.
Forget about the idea of comfort right now. And here's something where you can start right now. Next time you get an itch, don't scratch it.
Feel it.
Just don't even scratch it. Next time you get an itch, don't scratch it. And just watch how that works on this behavioral muscle of yours that you're going to build up of not reacting to your comfort zone.
And that's symbolic too. Like the itch could be a physical itch that you scratch, or the itch could be the desire to go out and drink Jameson, or the desire to go check Backpage every other day. Like whatever the itch might be.
Shout out to Backpage.
Whatever the itch might be, what he's saying is you don't need to scratch it. One thing I did want to bring up.
Don't scratch next time you get it. Try that.
One thing I did want to bring up though, we talked a lot about career and people being stuck in jobs or whatever. We're not here at the Askerado Show. We're not saying that it's bad to have a steady job. We're just saying that if you're unhappy in that job and you want something else out of life, whether that's entrepreneurial opportunity or like taking up a hobby or changing your appearance or anything, there's fear associated with starting those things too. So just wanted to bring that up to the listeners and the watchers.
We're happy if you're happy.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Aim for fulfillment. You get one shot because you might get reincarnated.
True.
But you might come back as like a plant.
Yeah.
With birds shitting
That
on
would suck.
Birds shitting on your arms.
Or not. I mean, you don't know.
You don't know.
I definitely, my spirit would not like to be a plant. If there's anything in the universe.
Have you been a plant before?
I mean, standing still and being quiet is enough for me to be like, okay,
but you're
going to
be a different person.
But my soul will be the same.
I'm gonna come back as a Swiss person.
Your soul will have different
My
They have like
soul
1%
needs to come back
unemployment
as like a
essentially,
lioness or something.
Or you might come back as a mosquito with Zika virus.
Oh yeah.
Thanks for
No,
that.
thank you.
Or you might come
Not
back
putting
as
that into the
a
universe.
fly that lives in Gunplay's One Big Dread.
What? Too far. Too
That's a happy fly.
Specific. It's real specific to MMG fans. So.
Right. But yeah, I mean, you get this one shot, man. You got to put it down. Another thing that inspired me I remember reading the Source magazine this might have been like 94.
Wow.
This is when Midnight Marauders came out.
Jeez, I was like
Tribe Called Quest.
Yeah, and Fife was talking about like Fife was talking about how he wasn't even sure if he was gonna be rapping with Tribe Called Quest on that album. He was like, we was just about to break up. And then so I was like, my God, if they broke up, what would my life have been without them coming out with that? Like, what would have come of my life had they decided to break up? And so I couldn't even imagine that, and I was just like, dang, I'm glad they shot their shot.
Well, they were stuck in a bad place, apparently.
Yeah, but like what they did that they were unsure about did so much for me. What you're about to do next, that you're fearing, might do so much for someone else. You can't even comprehend the scale of the importance of your next move.
So what's something everyone in the panel may be working on that they are fearful of?
No, I got one right now. July 10th, I start a variety show at Buckeye and Bear, 1730 M Street Northwest. It's going to be every Sunday. I'm going to be programming bands, rappers, dancers, magicians, comics, storytellers, poets, everything. And, it's a lot of work. And I got to do all the marketing. I got to contact all these musicians. You know what it's like to talk to these musicians? They're lunatics. They're worse than comics with the drugs. Anyway, like, it's a lot.
What's your fear in that?
That it's going to be awful or horrible or disorganized or not entertaining or not funny. Well, it'll be funny because I'm going to be hosting it. But I'm just worried that it's not going to be as big and as great as I want it to be.
Because you're not concentrating on right now, right?
I mean, it is my major focus as far as like.
But you're worried about the negative stuff.
Yeah, I'm
that
worried
could
about.
potentially be.
But I'm fine
So
with
you're
worrying
not
about
putting
that.
all the positive energy that you should be putting into the air right now.
Well, I know it's gonna be tight. I know it's gonna be tight. But right now, it's just like I've been doing stand-up for not that long, but like long enough that I've done a shitload of shows. But before the show, I am always a little bit nervous.
Yeah.
As if it's my first time. That nervousness is decreased, but it still shows up. And someone once told me that if you're not nervous before it, then you're not showing respect to the audience, then you're not really in it. So and that's someone that's been doing it for 4 or 5 years. So it's okay to be nervous when you're living your passion. You smell me.
What about everyone else? Anything coming up that you maybe...
Well, for me, I'm fearful because I got laid off for the second time in a year from the same job, which I'm actually less fearful about finding another job.
Well, first of all, congratulations.
Maybe God's
on
telling
your
you something.
Yeah, maybe God's with you.
Continuously.
I'm not really worried about finding another job. Like, I can find...
Maybe he doesn't want you to find another job.
My fear comes from putting myself back into something that I don't necessarily want to continue to do and not being not even brave enough, but just of the right clarity of mind to determine what it is that I should be doing differently. And so that's what I'm struggling with right now, is just figuring out what is it, because it's not by chance that I'm in this situation again, especially this time with knowing that the person or establishment that laid me off really didn't want me to go and tried to find me every opportunity to stay, which I turned down 2 opportunities to stay within the organization because I just like, nah, this doesn't feel right. So my fear is not finding what it is I need to find to determine what those steps are to begin making money before the money that I have is not going to sustain me and my family.
Well, first of all, let me tell you this. You will be sustained. You're not going to go one day without somewhere to sleep and water and trail mix. I can't guarantee hot salmon, but you will be sustained.
Yeah.
And at this point, you get to do what the fuck you really want to do.
But do it fast.
And do it well.
Just do it. Do it. Do it well.
What about you? What about you, Grindstone? Anything that you're fearful of?
Yeah, the shit that I'm scared of is dying early. Dying like before I'm
that's coming up.
Yeah, projects, events.
Oh no.
Opportunities.
No, it's not.
No. So like
death, dude.
No, and I have to
Went
learn to
all the
accept
way
that.
there.
No,
Right.
but
We're talking about being in a jar and like, limiting yourself.
No, but what I'm saying is that's why I'm doing. That's why I don't have. That's why I'm not scared of anything.
Well,
And
that's
so like
great.
I'm doing a lot of challenging shit right now. So like in July I got this album coming out, lyrical selfies, and it's
Jesus.
shit. Yeah, and then that's something that I just would have never done. Like, you know, but now like, you know, fuck it, let me rock that shit. I got another album coming out. It might come out in November, December. It's called Impermanence. It's the fucking shit.
Not to be confused with the other one that is
No,
also
this
the
joint is
shit.
The
ridiculous.
shit, but the fucking shit.
July I'm doing this show in Miami, the Agenda Show.
But you're not fearful, you're saying, of these things.
It's not a fear that I would associate with fear. You know what I'm you know what I'm scared of?
Just death.
No,
What,
no. I'm scared of not doing my thing.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that
Of being idle.
Yeah, that's the only thing that bugs me. Like,
Well, maybe
the fear of
you've
not doing my
surpassed
thing.
everyone else on the panel.
But you know why? I died before.
Oh, okay,
Lord.
well.
Yeah.
Well, that's another show.
Yeah.
I'll share with the audience, you know, very real.
Why you say it like you're bullshitting?
Because we only have a few more minutes.
Yeah, we need a whole
And,
show for your near-death experience.
And I think it's important for us to all share our fears. And although I have fears and I push past them.
What is yours? Go ahead.
My
Say it clear.
upcoming fear is that I'm actually moving offices, right? I started a new company a year and a half ago, and I'm on one side of H Street, and I'm moving to the other side of H Street.
Tell them where.
And I'm moving to 500 H Street, so I'm moving on up on the east side of northeast side of
Buy the
DC.
new Whole Foods and all of that.
Oh, so you're
Right.
moving west.
No, I'm moving
Yes.
west, but on the east side. Yeah,
So you're less east.
I'm less east.
So
but
you're
still
moving
on
on
the
west.
northeast
Closer
side.
to North Capitol.
On the east
Either way,
side.
that is not the reason why where my fear exists. It's just, you know, it's not how I imagined everything to be, right? Like I was like, I'm in this new space. I'm going to be in this new space for the next 5 or 10 years, and this is how it's going to be. And now there's a new challenge for me. It's a new office, and I have agents who are leaving, and I have, you know, new agents that I'm interviewing, and it's all this change going on. And although I deal with that on a consistent basis, it's still scary to me, right?
So how does your visualization work when you see that popping?
All I see is that I got to do what I have to do, and I have to push through. I have no other choice.
It's gonna be beautiful, actually.
I have to push through.
You're gonna own H Street. Do you understand that?
You're going to kill it. You're killing it already. It's dead. It's dead.
Murder.
It's dead.
And you killed it.
Thank you. Cheerleading team. But in sharing our fears, that is one of my fears. And I think sometimes it's important for people to see you when you are progressing. They don't think about you having fear because you're where you're at. But it's real. You just have to push past it.
Push it so hard. So tight.
And on that note, we're wrapping up the show tonight, and we've given our final thoughts, and we'll be right here next week from 8 to 10
Wait,
p.m.
can I plug a show?
You can.
Yo, tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, I'm hosting Red Hot Wednesdays at Red Lounge. It's a comedy show. I'm going to do a lot of the jokes. It's starts at 8:30 p.m. It's 2013 14th Street
Tell
Northwest.
a joke now.
What happened when you asked me to tell a joke on the end of the Asherado show?
I don't know what happened.
I slapped the shit out of you.
I got a better joke than that.
That's hilarious.
Well, check.
Here's my joke. What happened when you slapped the shit out of me? There's no punchline.
Well, check Kevin out tomorrow night, and we'll be right here next Tuesday, 8 to 10 p.m. on the Asherado Show. Signing off.
Deuces.
With my co-host Grindstone.
Black Stuff.
Our producer, The Urbanista.
Stay fabulous.
Our controversial commentator, Kevin Lance Murray.
Thank the bass god, Guwap is out.
And this is Sherrado signing off. Till next week.